One simple format twist, and I've done it. I fixed the challenge. You're welcome, fellow OG Challenge fans. But before I can explain the solution, I've first got to explain the problem. Now, you see, the last handful of flagship seasons haven't exactly been the fandom's favorites, and there are a lot of reasons, both big and small, that have led to that. Could I make some solid suggestions to improve upon casting? Yes, absolutely. Could I advise that they focus a little bit less on the game of it all and put a little more attention back on the show of it all? Of course, and I regularly do. But in reality, to solve some of the issues the show has, the easiest answer would be to just pack up and go back to 2005. And I don't think you have a time machine. I know I don't have a time machine, so we obviously can't do that. So let's not get hung up on what the show was in a different era and instead focus on what the best possible version of it could be in the present day. If we take the challenge for what it is nowadays, which in all honesty, is kind of a sport, whether we like it or not, then there are a couple standout issues from that recent batch of seasons that need to be addressed. Mainly these three. First, one majority alliance running the game start to finish. Second, formats that allow said majority to skate mostly stress-free all the way to a final. And third, everyone kind of hating the group that typically makes up said majority alliance. Now, I can't necessarily do anything about the third problem exactly. That's more of a casting department issue, but I can solve the first two with one simple, easy twist, which does in turn end up solving the third issue on its own too. The inspiration for my solution actually comes from a former twist that they've tried twice recently to mixed success. Remember those good old Red Skull days back on Total Madness? You had to win an elimination to be eligible to run TJ's final. At first glance, it seemed like the kind of home run idea, but it backfired. It basically turned into everyone waiting their turn to volunteer to go into elimination. And once you won your skull, you just kind of sat in the background until the end of the season when you got the pleasure of having Jenny West smoke you in a final. No one was trying that hard in dailies. Most people felt safe the entire season. And outside of Bananas and Wes's egos forcing them into an unnecessary elimination matchup halfway through, there wasn't a whole lot of excitement. Then they brought that twist back the following season, Double Agents. This time the skulls were gold and they came with an added layer. Only 10 of them were available, meaning once you were given out, you had to beat someone with a skull to steal theirs. This worked a little bit better, as the threat of being thrown in so that Drell or CT could steal your skull was certainly an upgrade over the stress-free ride so many had on Total Madness. But we still had a lot of volunteering, we had a lot of not trying in dailies, and one alliance mostly called the shots throughout yet again. They then ditched the skull twist for SLA, Ride or Dies, and battled for a new champion, instead incorporating all kinds of format twists, seemingly a never-ending cycle of format types within a single season. None of them ever worked to really derail the problem of the show being so based around the game, but the game being a little bit boring because one group runs it start to finish and the format gives them all the power they need to always be in control. But not anymore. I've fixed it. And, as always, for those challenge producers that may find themselves watching or listening, you are allowed to steal my ideas free of charge. Maybe send me a Fessy jersey in the mail or something. We'll call it even. They were onto something with that skull twist. Their only problem was that they were rewarding them at the wrong time. Needing a skull to run a final makes perfect sense, but winning those skulls via elimination turns out does not. Instead, skulls should be given out for daily challenge wins. That's right, I give you the format twist that will solve all of our problems, or at least the problems we said we're trying to fix, the daily skull twist. Here's the deal, and it's simple. You've got to win a daily challenge to be eligible to run TJ's final. Suddenly, with one simple twist, everyone is trying it every daily challenge, right? Well, not yet, actually, because this twist only works with one additional format element that they have thankfully brought back on the most recent season and need to keep forever and always. Last place at the daily goes straight into elimination. With a combination of needing to win a daily to qualify for a final and getting last in a daily, getting you thrown straight into elimination, we've got the recipe for success. You see, now everyone is incentivized to try in every single daily challenge. You've got to win your skull. And even for those who have won one already, you can't totally mail it in when last place sends you to elimination. Plus, first place would still also come with the power of, at minimum, being safe from elimination, and at maximum, maybe picking the other team to go in. So overall, we've got the best possible recipe for everyone trying their hardest at every single daily challenge, which would be a big win for the show. This serves to also shake up the alliances in a big, big way. You can skate all you want as far as being safe from eliminations go, but you're going to need to win a daily or else it's all kind of pointless. So expect all alliances in the house to now be based on who has or doesn't have a daily skull, or who isn't or is that good of a competitor. The Vacation Alliance, it can still exist, but at some point, Aneesa and Josh are going to have to look around and realize Tori and Fessy keep beating them in dailies, and they might need to get them up out of there. The best competitors will be at an advantage because they can win dailies much more easily, but a disadvantage because they will be even bigger threats than they already are. And the not as good competitors, well, they have an advantage now because they're going to rarely be targeted for elimination, but a disadvantage because they're going to be desperately trying to win a daily skull. Let's put this into practice looking back at the previous two flagship seasons, neither of which works perfectly. We would have to change some things, but we could still get an idea of how this twist would shake things up. Let's think back to B-Fank, our most recent season, Battle for a New Champion. How would this have played out? Now, obviously, they would have needed to do more individual daily challenges or even paired daily challenges. And if they did, you could bet Horacio, Kylan, Reese, Ed, Zara, Jay, those would be the people most likely to come out on top winning a bunch of skulls. So Horacio and Kylan would still get targeted over and over all the same, but the Colleen's, Berna's, Corey's, Michelle, James's, Olivia's of the world that are in that major alliance all season, just chilling, they would probably not be winning many skulls, if any, and they're probably in that scenario not putting up with Jay's bullshit for very long, and probably not okay with Emmanuel suddenly rising to number 2 in the alliance. They're much more inclined to join up with Mel, join up with Big T, and cause some chaos. Or what about Ride or Dies, a season with a slightly more straightforward pairs format that this is more easily applied to? Guess who didn't win any of the 9 partner dailies that season? Your future champions, Devin and Tori. That changes some stuff. Guess who openly didn't try during almost any of the dailies that whole season, and who openly said they didn't want to win them? They didn't want to be in power because of the way the format was set up. Bananas and Nany, Jordan and Aneesa, Tori and Devin, among others. Remember that amazing run that Horacio and Olivia had, winning 5 eliminations? Well, they probably wouldn't have had to do that. They probably wouldn't have ended up in almost any eliminations because those rookies were not coming near a win in any of those daily challenges. They probably would have just been chilling in the back. Look, does this actually perfectly fix the challenge? Of course not. But I had to get you to watch my video somehow, so I hyperbolized it a little bit. It's the internet, folks. That's what happens around here, okay? But I do honestly think it would work really freaking well and go a long way to add more drama and competition into the show that is so heavily based on competition these days. Some small addendums would be needed, maybe the last daily or 2 of the season if you don't have enough finalists around. You'd say, you can sit out with if you have a skull and guarantee a couple new winners. I don't know. I'm still workshopping little tweaks here and there. So you tell me, what do you think of the Daily Skull twist? Would it boost the competition? Would it change the landscape of alliances and who gets targeted? Or are there glaring holes that I'm missing, just like there were with the red and gold skulls for elimination wins prior? Sound off in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe if you don't already, because we've got All-Stars 4 coverage coming up right around the corner. We've got Challenge 40, Battle of the Eras coverage coming later this year. What a time to be alive if you are a Challenge fan. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.